guys, gays and ghouls.
Hello, everyone. Here we go.
I'm so pleased to see that that this video is still up. You know, I really expected that it would be down by now. It's been up for a whole 8 hours. That's a new record. So yeah, let's just jump.
Oh my god.
Let's just jump right into this 43-minute long response video. A video that he titled "A Measured Response" as a cheeky reference to H. Bomber Guy's series, "A Measured Response." I'd say, yay, another John. Yeah, he's in frame now. Sorry.
Hey, what's up? Sorry about that.
Yeah. So the audacity. Also, there's a content warning here. Discussion of self-harm from 2808 to 3004. So, yeah. Can't wait to see where the toxic gossip train takes us today.
Just a disclosure, this video is monetized, but revenue from it will be sent along to H. Bomber Guy's team to be dispersed to the people whose work I plagiarized. If his team won't accept it...
Hang on. I hate to stop us already, but the sound is weird. Also, did he forget how to center a camera? Like, why is it shot like this?
I don't know.
Yep, he's back. The turtleneck is back. The comb over is back. He's pulling out the old stops.
I'll be making monthly donations to Wikipedia and TransLifeline going forward.
Okay.
You may have also noticed that a few of my past videos have gone up on the channel again, and revenue from those as well will also be sent along with the revenue from this video. Over the last couple of months, I've been getting in touch with the people who I plagiarized to apologize one-on-one instead of...
Mind you, well, at least one of the people that he reached out to apologize posted the email to Twitter, where he basically was like, "Sorry, I stole from you. If you want, I can pay you in exposures." He was like, he didn't offer money. He was just like, "I can show you off to my audience, whatever's left of them."
Exposure, Jesus.
Mass apology. It's a bit difficult because many of them don't have public email addresses, so I'm still working on it, but it is a top priority of mine.
Oh, sure it is.
I've heard back from a few of them, and they were actually incredibly nice.
Yeah, sure.
Accepting my apology and just imploring me to do better in the future. So I want to thank them publicly for that. There's plenty that I haven't heard back from, and I completely understand that. In many cases,
anything? Email response?
I wouldn't want to talk to me either.
I'm trying to hear
I also plenty that I haven't heard back from, and I completely understand that. In many cases, I wouldn't want to talk to me either. I also want to apologize to my audience, though. You trusted me to be a good representative of the queer community, and I was not that. I tried to be. I tried to be a voice for every member of the queer community, but that was a failed endeavor before it even started.
I tried to be a good representative of the queer community while I was stealing from them, and then having my followers attack them for pointing out that I was stealing from them.
Yeah, anytime someone pointed that you were stealing, you made them go attack them. So you're not a good representation of anything.
Like, I really tried. I kept accidentally stealing. Like, what?
And I also don't like how he doesn't show any proof that he's giving the money to H. Bomber or to anyone. Where's, like, screenshots or anything?
Well, he hasn't even done it yet. He said he's going to. So
he's just saying he's going to?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
I'm a cis, white, gay man. No matter how much I try to be a good spokesperson, I can never really truly understand the life experiences of other, far more put upon members of the queer community. This is one of the reasons that I would use their own words. But I should have made it very clear that that's what I was doing.
The fucking audacity. He basically said, I am just a cis white guy. I couldn't possibly know what I was talking about, and that's why I stole from more marginalized people than me. But, like, I should have been honest that I was stealing from them.
Well, how about you do like most creators do? Like, create your own voice. Don't steal from others.
No, it's like, he didn't quote more marginalized people. He stole from more marginalized people. Only turn around and be like, their words were so wise, I just wanted to share them. And I oopsied boopsied and forgot to credit them.
I never, ever thought that I was the only voice out there, as some have said, but being a cis white man, I thought I might be able to win over some people who wouldn't otherwise listen, unless it was someone who looks and sounds just like them. And so I tried speaking for everyone. And this was a horrible mistake.
Not a great start. We're only 2 minutes in. That's
This is already a
This
disaster.
is bad. Dude, just call it. It's over. Don't come back.
40 more minutes.
Oh, God.
Like, what the fuck? Oh my God, we're off to a swinging start. Oh my God. It was like, I was just trying to represent more marginalized voices, and so I stole from them. And didn't tell anybody, and attacked them whenever they pointed it out, but it was only out of the goodness of my heart. After all, I'm but a humble, gay, cis white man. 2 minutes in. What horrors will this bestow on us? We may have to fast forward again. That's what we did last time.
Yeah, we
He
did.
talks so fucking slow.
What I thought was being inclusive ended up leading to a lot of people feeling left out, and even...
You thought it was being inclusive to steal people's work, you jackass? I thought I was being inclusive. Just rewriting history as he goes. Just like...
offended. This fell upon Nick as well, as a non-binary person on the ace spectrum. They wanted to include asexuality and non-binary representation in our videos, but because Nick's experience is not universal, there is no universal experience.
Here's more blaming Nick, by the way. I was wondering when that was going to come up. Invoice, just check out H. Bomber Guy's video. He has a 4-hour video on it. Basically, he stole from a lot of marginalized queer writers and like presented queer video essays and presented their work as his own. He was doing this for a long time. He had been called on it a few times. He always shot people down and like attacked them if they called him out on it. But he's a plagiarist. He heavily plagiarized the work of other queer people and passed it off as his own.
And attack people who didn't criticize him at all.
Yeah.
For plagiarizing.
Let's see. And then you blamed all that on Nick. Oh, he blames Nick quite a bit. Oh, apparently Hector's already seen it.
Are you serious?
So that was the first blaming Nick. Anybody keeping a tally? Let me see. Am I gonna get a pin or something? Somebody keep a tally. Wait, no, I got one. Don't go anywhere. Stay here.
All right.
I'll never see you again if you wander off. All right, so let's do our Nick blame counter. That's one tally mark on the Nick blame counter. I need a stronger hand. All right, continue.
People felt that we were delegitimizing their own experiences because we focused on Nick's, and I apologize for that.
Gonna mark
And
that
I'm
as a
sure
second
that
one.
Nick does as well. I'd also like to extend a personal apology to Jesse Earl, better known as Jesse Gender. Out of everyone that I spoke to who was also a YouTuber. Jesse was by far the kindest person. I think Jesse might be one of the kindest people
Didn't Jesse call the cops on a black person one time? Am I making that up? I feel like that happened.
I have no idea. I don't know.
I wasn't asking you, John. I know you don't know. No offense, but I was definitely not asking you.
ever met or ever encountered. We never actually met in person. Because of my hot-headedness, I drew her into just this anger spiral of mine that was unwarranted and absolutely ruined a possible friendship. Jessie was actually doing her best to kind of mitigate my frustration and everything and at that moment, and I just wasn't allowing her to do that, and I really, truly, honestly want to apologize to her for that. Again, if you ever get the chance to speak with Jessie one-on-one, or if you have gotten the chance, you'll know just how nice she is and how kind, and I was a real asshole for dragging her into my reactionary, unwarranted frustration. We haven't spoke since all of that happened, but Jessie, if you are watching this video, I do want you to know that I am honestly sorry.
Let's pick it up.
For that. I hope, truly, honestly, I hope everything
Let's pick it up.
goes as well as possible for you, because you deserve all of it.
Jesus Christ.
There was a misunderstanding between Jessie and I after that happened that I do want to clear up, where someone who at least claimed to be a fan of Jessie's, did an internet and threatened to kill me, which is,
Oh, here we go again with the somebody threatened to kill me shit. Receipts, don't worry, you won't be getting those. But remember that last time you said somebody threatened to kill you and there was zero evidence that actually happened? Remember that?
And then they end up attacking.
Remember the last time that somebody called you out on plagiarism and you were like, they're trying to kill me! Forgive me if I don't just believe you.
Being a person on the internet, death threats are unfortunately not uncommon. Someone who at least claimed to be a fan of Jessie's, did an internet and threatened to kill me, which is, being a person on the internet, death threats are unfortunately not uncommon. At the time, though, I was in a very panicked state, and so I did report it to the police. I did not report Jessie to the police, which is the misunderstanding that people came away with. I did not report Jessie to the police. I would have no reason to do that. And it did end up that this person had a prior record with the police of violent acts, and they actually lived quite near me. So the police took it very seriously. They took it so seriously that they implored me not to speak to Jessie, which I took their advice on, which I shouldn't have, honestly.
Okay, wait, time out. Something in the milk ain't clean. Something ain't smelling right about that. What? Something doesn't make sense about. Why would the police tell you not to talk to Jessie? Because someone who said they were Jessie's friend, or someone who said they were a fan of Jessie, threatened to kill you, supposedly, and then you took it to the cops. First of all, the cops are not very helpful in these situations. Let's just be real. I don't imagine it's any different in Canada. But also, why would they tell you not to talk to Jessie? What does that have, if it was, why? That doesn't, what would be the point of that?
Yeah, it's a completely different person.
Yeah, if you didn't call the cops on Jessie, then why would the cops tell you not to talk to Jessie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, cops do say dumb shit, but that doesn't make any sense.
Hey, don't talk to your mom. Okay, she's unrelated about this issue. What? As
a Canadian, I can confirm that the Canadian police do not do anything. Exactly. Yeah, being a social media person, I've had friends who have had to contact cops because they've been threatened or whatever, and they might file a report for you or something, but they ain't really doing that much. Also, yes, he posted another one. Also, the fact that Notice how he spent 2 minutes saying that he was super apologetic to Jesse and felt so bad about how he treated Jesse, right before immediately being like, by the way, one of Jesse's friends tried to kill me. Just saying. Just putting that out there, but it's like, even when he apologizes, he has to backhandedly make that person the villain. Like when he's like, Nick, I'm so sorry for what I put you through, even though it was totally your idea when we put all those lies and stupid shit in our videos. I'm so sorry it was your fault that this happened.
I should have at least clarified to Jessie what was going on and not just left her hanging. And so I want to, again, apologize to Jessie for that. But in that state, I listened to the police, which is, maybe not the best decision all the time because the cops don't usually have the best interests of people at heart. So, Jessie, I want to apologize for that and everything else that happened.
I don't believe
completely
that for a
understand why you would not want to speak to me ever again, but I just want you to know that I am sorry. But now back on the original topic. The work Nick and I were doing on the channel, we wanted it to be, for everyone. We wanted it to be a channel where every queer person could feel welcomed, and we failed at that. That is something that in hindsight I think is impossible to create, and that's why it's important for there to be many different queer voices in spaces like YouTube, and there are. What's more important is that those voices are discoverable, which is something that I should have been helping with. I often shared other queer creators on Twitter, but this was when I only had, 800, 1,000 Twitter followers, and these creators usually had a whole lot more than that. It was a weird thing, because usually they would have infinitely more Twitter followers, but a whole lot less YouTube subscribers. I'm not sure what created that dichotomy, but something was
okay, what? First of all, once again, he is trying to pretend that what he did was share queer creators instead of steal their work. He didn't accidentally forget to credit people. He willfully stole work repeatedly and would hide the fact that he stole it. The few times he would get caught, he would have to rearrange his credits and shit just to cover up the fact that he stole their work. So once again, he's presenting this fantasy scenario where he accidentally forgot to credit people sometimes. That's not what fucking happened, James. We all watched H. Bomber Guy's video with the receipts. That is not what happened. 80 to 90% of your scripts were completely made up of other people's writing. You did not accidentally occasionally forget to credit people because you wanted so badly to have diverse queer voices in your work, and so sometimes you accidentally slipped up and didn't include. That's not what happened.
Oops, I copy and paste this whole article in my script. Too bad I can't remove it. I have to say the words.
I have to say the words and pretend that they are my own words. It's just
and I have to edit it too. Oh, by editing, I mean copying and pasting someone else's video into mine. Oh.
I don't know why this video is so long. It takes 2 minutes to say, I'm sorry for plagiarizing and trying to cover it up. Yeah, except he's not. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
Please. Except he's not sorry, so he won't say that.
Definitely off with the algorithm there. There is a part of my brain that says YouTube kind of went, oh, white male queer, let's push him.
Oh, please.
And, ignore everyone else in the community, whereas people were able to actually discover other queer creators on
You were
Twitter,
actively stopping them from being discovered.
But the YouTube algorithm kind of... That's the...
It was Nick's fault. It was Jesse's fans' fault. It was the YouTube algorithm's fault. I can't help that the YouTube algorithm decided that they were going to show my videos. It's not my fault.
How many Nick's tallies are we up to?
I had to bump it up another speed.
1.5, yeah, that's pretty good.
Most negative interpretation I have of it, which unfortunately may be true. In any case, I should have done more to share the voices of other queer people. Certainly, the people.
If only the algorithm had stopped me.
Plagiarized in my videos, but also just other creators on YouTube. It's important for us as a community, as vaguely defined as we are, to support each other. And I didn't do that nearly enough. From day one, I was very taken in by the idea of being a YouTuber. As soon as my videos started to get recommended by the algorithm, after not releasing a new video for 2 years, I felt like I had a short period of time to get the next videos out as soon as possible, which is why so little work was put into the writing of them, and so much was taken from other places. But,
Just what the fuck, man? Do you hear yourself? Do so that's why I stopped putting the work into making videos. I wanted to do it fast, so I had to plagiarize. I really felt like I had to make it fast, so I made it badly.
By badly,
Early on, I thought crediting authors in the opening credits alone was enough. X videos out as soon as possible, which is why so little work was put into the writing of them, and so much was taken from other places, plagiarized. Early on, I thought crediting authors in the opening credits alone was enough, especially since the videos weren't monetized early on. But I understand now, especially after speaking with some of the people who I did plagiarize, that was just, I was wrong. That was not the way to go about it. They should have been cited properly within the text of the video. They should have been called out in the video at least once, verbally, as well as, having citations on screen, if there were a whole lot of them, like with, one of the examples that H-Bomber got used in his video was the Deep Cuts video. There were a whole lot of people who I, credited in the opening credits, but really it's plagiarism. They should have been cited on screen with actual citations of,
I feel like he still doesn't understand what plagiarism is. I feel like he still thinks that plagiarism is just like forgetting to credit people. If I said this the last time we reacted to one of these videos, but if I submitted an English paper and the entire thing was just a copy of Shakespeare's sonnets word for word and I did nothing, I would get an F on that paper. It doesn't matter if I properly cited Shakespeare. I didn't write anything. You just don't understand what plagiarism is, James. It's not just that you didn't credit people. It's that you didn't write anything. You took other people's work and passed it off as your own when in fact you didn't write anything, and the few times you did write something, it was shit you pulled straight out of your ass that was factually inaccurate and filled with your weird personal biases. Like when you would just randomly trail off and be like, boring games, to God AIDS, and the fucking, I don't like women. Like, that was the only shit that was original. You didn't, come on. I just want to slam my head against the brick wall because it's like you still don't fucking get it.
Where you can find this stuff. Maybe there should have even been a bibliography that you could have gone to, like on a Google Drive or something like that. Because, although I might have stated that
the
script
Illuminati
was based
method
upon the work of these authors, it, in many cases, wasn't just based on their work. It was their work, word for word. In some cases, I did get permission, like with the Evil Queen's Disney video.
Nope, bullshit, lies. Remember how that went up before you got permission? Listen, hi James, I did get a chance to watch a video. While I'm perhaps not as pessimistic about the relationship between Disney and LGBTQ culture as your piece is, I recognize and largely agree with the issues you are raising about where things have gone since I wrote my book, and I'm grateful for the shout out at the title card. It was one thing that I was going to request, that you at least give me a little bit of citation. Very thoughtful video, and I hope your audience gets a lot out of it. This is not getting permission, James! This is asking for forgiveness after you didn't get permission. You posted that video first, then when people were like, hey, you stole Sean Griffin's work, then you emailed Sean Griffin like, and he was like, yeah, that's cool, whatever, just can you please cite me? He didn't make a big stink out of it because he probably didn't think it was worth it to, go after a YouTuber, but, this is not asking for permission. You can't ask for permission after you do the thing. This email makes you look worse, you fucking moron. He said in the email, I wish you had cited me. That is not permission. What the fuck? He literally posted an email of the author of a book that he stole from saying, hey, could you please cite me? And it's like, see, I have permission to steal his work. Are you on crack, James? What? Oh my god!
Put the email up on the screen that I got from Sean Griffin, where he did give me permission to publish the video. I sent the finished video to him, and he watched it and he gave me permission. But in most cases, I didn't get permission, and thought that just putting the author's name in the opening credits
That's not permission.
I was much more interested in the production of the videos than the writing of them at this point. So after 3 or 4 videos, I brought Nick on as a main writer for the channel.
So I
The
can
idea
blame
is
somebody.
that They would write the vast majority of the scripts. I would film, voice, and edit the videos, and we'd split the money that came in. We were roommates at the time, and Nick didn't have a job, so I figured it would help both of us. This is actually when we had some of our biggest videos.
Gonna mark
Like the
this
one
as
talking
another
about
blaming
Finn
Nick.
Hulkman, where we lucked out because it came out right in time for WandaVision to hit. And then the Killing Stalking video, which became our biggest video by far. The Sadism of Class was another one. These videos weren't plagiarized, and we loved making them. It didn't take long for the channel income to start growing. Lucky timing, really.
Yeah, but the Killing Stalking video was famously terrible. And everyone I know who's read Killing Stalking said it was the worst analysis of that book that they had ever seen in their lives. Like, I haven't watched that video, nor have I read Killing Stalking, so I can't judge. But everyone I know who has said that his analysis of Killing Stalking was fucking horrendous. So I don't know if the fact that you actually wrote that one helps you that much.
At the same time that I was laid off, since the company that I was working for downsized once COVID hit its second year. Nick and I had both grown up poor, so we started doing what we could to try and stabilize our income as much as possible. This meant putting out more videos, which meant I had to take over more of the writing duties. But since filming, editing, usually doing multiple edits because of YouTube copyright issues, as well as managing the channel and dealing with my mom's recent cancer diagnosis, all of that was already taking up so much of my time and attention. This led to a lot of
Cancer mom check.
Copy and pasting blocks of text into scripts. My intention at the time was to use these as a jumping off point once Nick and I sat down to edit the script, because that's what we would do. I would sort of put in my parts, Nick would put in his parts, and then we would sit down at a table, read through the whole script, and kind of try and make it seem cohesive. But, and here's something I'm sure a lot of people will call a bullshit excuse, I have memory issues.
Bullshit excuse.
Because of a head injury from when I was a child.
Holy shit. Okay, keep drinking that all. Keep going.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
What about this head injury? What about this head injury? Are you going to say, my dude?
Okay, listen. I didn't steal, but if I did steal, it's because it was Nick's fault, and also the YouTube algorithm made me. Also, my mom has cancer. Also, I bumped up my head when I was a baby. I got a boo-boo. I am literally neurodivergent and a minor. Oh my God, bro. Oh, I have memory issues because of a head injury. Jesus Christ. Oh, boy.
Oh man, all this writing seems so good. I must be a good writer.
I must be a good writer. I must have wrote all this. Oops.
Oops. I don't remember typing it.
Even his explanation of, like, we copied and pasted shit into our scripts so that we could work on it later. Is that how you write scripts, John?
No.
You just copy an entire article and post it into your script and be like, I'll edit it later.
No. God, no. You look at the article and then you come up with your own ideas, basically.
No,
you don't have the article up the entire time when you're writing a script.
No, you post the whole article into the thing and you're like, oh, I forgot that this wasn't mine. I guess it's mine now. Oh, God, this is incredible, man. We're only like a third of the way through. How does he talk for another 30 minutes?
And most people, like, read this article before they even start. Like, do a whole bunch of research before they even start writing.
No, that sounds hard. That sounds difficult.
That sounds difficult?
Yeah, that sounds like work. And as we've established, I love working on videos so much that I don't have time to work on videos.
They're actually getting worse. I've talked about it on streams and in videos. Yes, it is real. But some people will call it a bullshit excuse anyway. The head injury.
It is a bullshit excuse. Not because you didn't necessarily get hit on the head. Humpty Dumpty. Like, I don't know your life. Maybe you got hit on the head. It's still a bullshit excuse for why you plagiarized a bunch of people.
Also, why are you just mentioning it now? There's no...
it's like, whatever. I mean, I don't even care. I don't even care if he, like, I don't care that he's just mentioning it now. I don't care if it's true. It's a bullshit excuse regardless.
Is actually what led to me having epilepsy, which is why I can't work in any job that involves physical labor. Employers can't get insurance for me to, like, lift things or operate vehicles and stuff like that. What? I actually did marketing for a restaurant group for a little while, but got let go when they found out that I was epileptic because, at least according to them, I couldn't be insured to be in the kitchens.
Wait, did he say it was actually, like epilepsy or it was epilepsy? Let's run that back in regular speed.
Did marketing for a restaurant group for a little. Employers can't get insurance shit excuse anyway. The head injury is actually what led to me having epilepsy, which is
Okay.
why I can't work in any job that involves physical labor. Employers can't get insurance for.
Again, I don't think he's ever mentioned being epileptic before, but like whatever. Again, being epileptic doesn't make you a plagiarist. Like I just like.
For me to like lift things or operate vehicles and stuff like that. I actually did marketing
So,
for
what
a
was
restaurant
me?
group for a little while, but got let go when they found out that I was epileptic because, at least according to them, I couldn't be insured to be in the kitchens where I needed to be to film videos and take photos and stuff like that. But anyway, when it came to editing the scripts, I couldn't remember what I'd written and what had been copy-pasted. We should have just chucked out everything that I had put into the scripts and filled them in with wholly original thoughts. Or I should have been taking notes on where things came from so that we could at least cite them in the videos, if nothing else, but I never did that. According to my therapist, my not thinking to do that probably stems from my recently diagnosed ADHD, but I don't know if I'm willing to.
Wow.
The next thing he's gonna dead ass say, also, I found my birth certificate in my parents' files. Turns out I'm 10 years younger than I thought I was. So I'm actually just 16. I'm literally neurodivergent and a minor.
Came from so that we could at least cite them in the videos, if nothing else, but I never did that. According to my therapist, my not thinking to do that probably stems from my recently diagnosed ADHD, but I don't know if I'm willing to say that, really. Maybe it was, or maybe it was just plain laziness.
Why
Maybe I
would you
thought
bring it
that
up
this
if
was
you're
somewhere that I
not
could cut a
saying it?
corner because I was torn in so many other directions. Honestly, I can't remember, like I said. Memory issues. But yes, we should have just thrown out my contributions to the scripts and filled them in with original writing, but we felt like we had too much of a time crunch. We felt like we had to get videos out more often to feed the algorithm. And then my mom died, and I became completely useless. I couldn't think straight at all. So Nick had to completely take over writing duties.
Nick
While I dealt with
Blaine.
things you deal with after a person dies.
Nick.
My dad, he can't read or write. He was very poor when he was a kid, so he had to leave school really.
How do you think his dad feels about this? My dad, illiterate by the way, like what the fuck? He's about to be like, I was born on a small farm in Kansas. I had to birth myself. My parents were too poor and stupid. Oh my god, bro.
young to work in order to feed his many brothers and sisters. So I had to deal with all the legal stuff after my mom died, as well as making sure that all my dad's bills were paid and whatnot, especially after his income was basically cut in half. There was supposed to be a buffer here, money-wise, as my mom had a life insurance policy that was going to be split between my dad and myself. But the insurance company, RBC Insurance, so if you have insurance with them, maybe rethink that, refused to pay out the policy because my mother never mentioned that she had family with diabetes. She didn't have diabetes, but because she didn't think to mention that she had family with diabetes, it apparently voided the policy. All they did was refund a year's worth of premiums that she paid, even though she'd been paying them for about 15 years. One of the
I mean,
things-
insurance companies are sent straight from the devil and the booty crack of hell, so I can probably believe that happened. I'm not sure what it has to do with you being a plagiarist, but I can believe that insurance companies are full of shit. I'm just not sure how that's relevant. Like, we don't need to know this at all. Like, it's like, what, again, it's just the epilepsy thing. It's like, I'm not going to call you a liar, James. I don't know your medical history. I'm not going to say you don't have epilepsy. I'm not going to say any of that is untrue. It's just irrelevant. It doesn't matter.
thing, really, that I was supposed to do with my portion of the insurance money was I was supposed to make a movie. These were direct instructions from my mom herself.
please.
She'd been very much behind me when I decided, when I was about 10, that I wanted to be a filmmaker. And she wanted me to finally have the opportunity to do that, even if she never got to see it. So when the life insurance went bust, I decided to try and crowdfund it, at least enough to make a short film or two.
I didn't rip all those people off in my crowdfunding a movie. My dead mom did. I didn't rip you off. Blame my dead mom. Remember last time in the last video he was like, I swear on my mother's grave. Now he's like, by the way, my mother, it's actually her fault. She made me steal your money to make movies. She wanted me to make movies, and I couldn't because the life insurance didn't work. So my dead mom said she'd haunt me if I didn't steal your money.
How about you just make the movie when you can? You don't need to make the movie right then. Even if that was your mother's goal.
Maybe this explains why he has such issues with women. Like, this is insane, bro. I'm actually screaming. He really brings his dead mom into this again. And he's just like, oh my god. Women be dying. Just like, my dead mom made me rip you off. I'm gonna fucking puke. Oh my god. We're not even halfway through this. We're not even halfway through this. And we're at like 1.5 speed.
This is what Telos grew out of. So, what happened with Telos? Let me break down the timeline. When we launched the campaign in February,
I stole your money at the end.
we hoped to raise $3,000 to produce a short film that we hoped that we would then use as a sort of proof of concept to attract investors, either private, public, or through Canada's telefilm program, to produce a feature. Some people online have stated that $3,000 never would have covered the cost of a short film, but these were not going to be unionized movies, and we were very clear about that up front. We wanted to be able to pay actors as best that we could, but we never expected to be able to reach typical union wages.
This is like that Luis video where he just bragged that he didn't pay his people as much as Darman. He's like, listen, we weren't planning on properly compensating people. Don't you worry about that. Some people said that $3,000 wasn't enough to make a decent film and also properly compensate people, but don't worry, we weren't planning on doing that.
Also, didn't you bring up once about the folding ideas about him buying?
Yeah, Folding Ideas brought up that he spent like $8,000 on the camera.
Yeah. So if you knew you didn't have that much money, why would you go out and buy the most expensive camera?
I just got here, and how is he trying to justify, oh, you missed a whale of a tale comical. He just blamed his dead mom. He's blamed Nick, the YouTube algorithm, ADHD, a head injury, and now his dead mom.
None of them are him, by the way, if you wanted to know.
I just can't. Like, he said, what did he say? He was just like, oh, no, I just can't believe he just bragged about not paying people, though. It was just like, look, many people said $3,000 wasn't going to be enough to, like, pay actors, but don't worry, I wasn't planning on paying the actors. And he thought that made him look better.
The crew was going to be made up of people that I had gone to film school with. Everyone, including Nick and myself, we were roommates at the time living on the East Coast, were more than happy to work behind the scenes for free. We planned on writing a movie with a small cast and only 1 or 2 locations, ideally ones that we could get access to for free. Again, we assumed all the money would go to the actors. We kind of look at this as a sort of community theater troupe, but for filmmaking. After the campaign launched, it did infinitely better than we could have expected, and our ambitions grew. We started planning to make a feature instead of a short film, and the plan was to take this around to film festivals. The feature we settled on, entitled Final Girl, was about the lone survivor of a slasher movie-type massacre 10 years after the fact, as she was publishing a book about her ordeal. Drawing attention from people online convinced that she had actually been the killer all along. In the end, we would find out that the killer was the boyfriend of the girl who the main character had secretly been dating at the time of the killings. And most of the people he killed were, in his eyes, collateral damage as he made his way to our main character, because he was not happy that his girlfriend was cheating on him with a girl. And to those who say that I plagiarized the plot from the novel Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix, read the book. It's nothing like the plot of the movie. And the Final Girl is a trope in horror movies. So if using the Final Girl trope is plagiarism, then basically everyone who's made a slasher movie since Texas Chainsaw Massacre owes the Toby Hooper estate some money. But anyway, Nick and I planned out the movie, but I didn't want to start writing it until the campaign ended and the money was actually deposited. After the insurance debacle, I didn't want to count our chickens before they hatched. When the money was officially deposited, I immediately began work on the screenplay. I finished it that summer, soon after Nick had left to spend 2 months at home in Ottawa, Ontario with family.
Okay, another Nick blame. I said, your movie doesn't exist, how can we be sure? Exactly. You're giving us the plot now, but the movie doesn't exist, so we don't know that it was nothing like the book. It's easy to say that now.
I sent the script to him to read right away because I was very proud of it, but Nick didn't want to share his opinion on it until he got back to the East Coast. So in the meantime, I put out a preliminary casting call on local job boards. When Nick got back, he believed that the script needed a page 1 rework. This is also when he told me that he'd be moving back to Ontario permanently soon, as he wanted to live closer to family and live in a bigger city with more opportunities. This was
Nick's fault.
a punch to the gut for me. We've been living together since 2015.
Nick is all to blame. Okay, we're up to, I think, 5 Nick blames. And only halfway through this godforsaken fucking video.
And had become quite dependent on each other. I felt like there was no way that I could make this movie without him. And since I had received not that many replies to the initial casting call, I took this as a sign that Ontario would be a better place to launch Telos, even though all my professional film connections were on the East Coast. That was a mistake. There, I had free access to the campground that would serve as the setting for a good portion of the movie, as well as easy access to any number of houses, apartments, and even offices that friends of friends would let me use to shoot. In Ontario, I had none of that, which immediately put the brakes on Final Girl, since there was no conceivable way of filming it, at least not within the budget that we had. After Nick and I moved to the Toronto area, he decided that he actually wanted to move home to Ottawa, to the Ottawa area, about 5 hours away, at least for a little while. In the meantime, he would take a train to the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area, once a month, to work on YouTube videos for a few days and then head back. This went on for a little less than a year. So I began brainstorming new movies that we could film in Ontario. This is where the multiple posters and teaser trailers came from. I was trying to create something tangible to show that work was still being done with Telos. I wrote multiple treatments for movies over the next few months, and Nick and I eventually landed on one called Antisocial, a murder mystery about a former social media clique who had gone their separate ways on very bad terms, and they were coming together for a reunion, a sort of VidCon event. They were all sharing a house, and then some of them were going to start showing up dead. Around the same time, summer of 2023, Nick had moved to the GTA full time.
Oh my god,
He and I
get
spent
to the point.
working out exactly how the murder mystery would parse out in the movie. We had a bunch of whiteboards up on my wall, and we were just breaking it down piece by
Get to
piece.
the point.
I put out a new casting call in the GTA and received hundreds of responses, so I was planning on casting as soon as the script was finished. But after trying to work out the numbers as far as paying actors went, plus locations, food, costumes, as well as the equipment that we'd already purchased and the legal costs of setting up Telos as a business, we realized that we'd gone way too big with this movie. The movie had too many characters, too many locations, and it was just way too complex to be able to pull off with the budget. So I started working on a script for a movie called The Listener, about a true crime podcaster.
So far he's mentioned like 3 different movies that he's tried to make. None of them came to fruition. He's like, I made the first movie, but then I didn't make it because stuff happened. And then I made another one, but then I didn't because stuff happened. And then I made another one, and then I didn't because stuff happened. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, Nick was going, so I wanted to follow Nick there, and then
Nick was moving, and then I was sad because I needed him for stuff, but then my mom died, and also I'm neurodivergent. Did I mention this?
Okay.
Here's the whole plot of a movie that exists only in my imagination.
On the mysterious deaths of homeless gay men in his city. I was a fair way into the script when we realized it'd be about a year before we could even film anything, since winter was on its way and the story relied heavily on a summer setting. So we went back to the drawing board yet again, finally settling on a modern-day adaptation of The Vampire, based on the book by John Polidori. It's one of the original works of published vampire fiction. It's never received a proper film adaptation and was in public domain, so we thought it would be a great choice. And the cast could be kept down to basically 5 characters, with only 2 of them being on screen most of the time. Nick and I both wrote treatments for it, which we planned on melding together into a final treatment that we would write the script based off of. We had a meeting about it, and we were talking about how best to move forward, how fast we could get the script written, how long it would take to cast, how soon we could start shooting.
Back to the drawing board. It's a tablet without a cord. Back to the drawing board. It's a tablet without a cord. Back to the drawing board. It's a tablet without a cord. Back to the drawing board. It's a tablet without a cord. Back to the Oh, you know, I think that he would make great friends with that person that made that movie.
I think he would too.
Don't worry, they almost certainly aren't his ideas. You don't have to feel bad for it.
We knew that it had been a while since the initial funding of Telos came in, and we wanted to get something concrete out as soon as possible. After the meeting, we went to dinner, and while at dinner, I started getting messages about the H-bomber video. We were in over our heads once we left the East Coast.
Okay. All right. So we're coming up on the timeline. That means that he started. Yeah, his supporters asked about this and didn't receive this info. So, like, what is your excuse for not telling your supporters any of this, James? Like, your supporters who backed Telos, you went radio silent. You took their money and you fucking ran. And now you're saying all this stuff was happening behind the scenes and that's why we didn't make any movies. But it's like, why didn't the donors know anything about this? Why didn't you update them? And now we're coming up on H Bomber Guy, where he's gonna blame H Bomber Guy for all of it, which is fucking hey.
Intention was never, ever, to take the money and run. I was so insanely excited about getting to make Telos a reality. I was excited about getting to make a short film, let alone a feature. It's always been my dream to make movies. So
yeah,
Telos
sure,
meant,
okay.
and means the world to me. For Nick, it was a very exciting project, but not his passion. Nick wanted to write novels. He still does. Nick looked at this as a creative outlet that was way more fulfilling than writing video essays. I should have stayed where I was and not gone to Ontario. The move uprooted everything that was solid about Telos, and he took off.
And remember, it was Nick's fault that he moved, so that's another blame Nick. Let's add it to the tally. We're up to the 6th blaming of Nick. For anybody who's keeping track, that's the 6th one that I caught. There might have been some more.
A whole year to get back onto even anything close to stable footing. But I am working with a producer now, so you can expect an actual product from Telos this year.
Sure.
It will likely be a short film to start off, but there is going to be something coming out of Telos this year.
Okay.
I know I've lost your trust.
Yep.
But I will make nothing financially from this project.
Oh, okay.
The money that is there will go wholly to paying queer artists to work on a queer film. I am not, nor have I ever intended to be, one of the people paid by Telos. Neither was Nick. We made this very clear to everyone who asked. During our work on Telos is also when the YouTube channel started getting sponsors, which, as I said, as someone who grew up poor, I basically accepted all of them, except for a few that I didn't think lined up with the message of the channel or had some bad
I don't
news
care.
surrounding them. There were a couple that had some anti-trans stuff going on in the news, and I just didn't want to associate with that. But
oh, look, don't worry. I'm such a good person. I didn't take the anti-trans sponsors. Man, no one gives a flying fuck at this point. Like, no one cares. Oh my god. We're going to speed it up a little bit more. This is agonizing.
Accepting as many sponsors as we did, which became very important when Nick and I started living apart and suddenly had 2 rents to pay, we ended up needing to produce even more videos, which, along with the work on Telos and making sure everything was okay with my dad while living thousands of kilometers away, meant I had even less time for writing, putting more stress on Nick and leading to even more copy pasting for me. That's what led to us putting out, I think, 6 videos in 1 month at one point. It might have been 5, but in any case, it was way too damn many videos to go out in 1 month. We tried to take the summer off from YouTube in 2023 to work on Telos exclusively, but even that went up in smoke because my housing situation just... I won't go into it here. I talked about it ad nauseum on streams and stuff. If you followed me on social media, you know the clusterfuck I ended up in that led to me moving twice in 2 months. In the last couple of months,
Okay.
I've received a lot of emails, as you can imagine. Many from people who were rightfully let down. Some from people threatening everything from doxing to violence, because the internet...
Oh, God, here we go again with the... Some people were threatening me. People were threatening me. I was scared. Nick made me homeless. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that part. Remember, my life started falling apart when Nick made me move to Ontario. And that's after my mom died. And remember, it was her that made me do movies.
Well, if you don't believe that, I have a head injury.
I have a head injury from when I was a baby. And that made me steal things.
If you followed me on social media, you know the clusterfuck I ended up in that led to me moving twice in 2 months. In the last couple of months, I received a lot of emails, as you can imagine. Many from people who were rightfully let down. Some from people threatening everything from doxing to violence, because the internet. Some with the kindest words of support I've ever heard, and others simply asking why I made it so difficult to contact me, and if I was okay. They wanted to know why, as they put it, I nuked my social media presence. To be frank, it's because I didn't want to exist anymore. If you watched my honestly...
Okay, here comes the part where he trigger warned us. Here comes the part about the self-harm, which, again, I'm going to say what I said in the last video. It's not that I don't think that, you should take self-harm seriously. And I don't know his brain, so I'm not going to say, how accurate his explanation of his feelings is. But I will say it is inappropriate to bring that up in an apology video where you are supposedly apologizing for the things you did to other people. You don't get to just be like, oh, but I'm sad and I tried to hurt myself, so don't be too hard on me because, it might be your fault if I did something, that is manipulative. That's manipulative. Like, that is the definition of manipulative. And everybody told you that was manipulative on your last video. So there's no reason to bring this up. But 90% of what he brings up in this video is all a play for sympathy. My mom died. My dad's a dumb farmer who can't read. Nick made me move. The algorithm, something. Like, I'm a sad little boy. I got hit in the head. Like, everything is just like an excuse and a sympathy play on top of excuses and sympathy plays.
Horrendous apology video back in December. You know I tried to make that happen. The not-existent thing. But it was more intense than taking too many pills. It's not that I didn't want to be alive anymore. It's that I wished I'd never existed at all. That everyone I'd ever known would be better off had I just never been there.
Okay.
Very George Bailey, which is fitting, given that it was Christmas time. It's only thanks to some very, very dedicated doctors and nurses and one very good friend that I'm even here able to film this right now. I'm not going to name her because I don't want to expose anyone else to the small but seriously unstable group of people who watched the plagiarism in YouTube video and thought, well, he should be dead. Like I said, it was a very...
By the way, this is H. Bomber Guy's fault. You know, I'm not saying H. Bomber Guy almost killed me, but I'm not saying he didn't do that either.
Why people are blaming you?
Just like,
I'm
not saying H. Bomber Guy is the reason that I felt unalivey, but I'm not saying he's not that. And it definitely wasn't my own actions.
And shoot, I was gonna get that movie out, but H-Bomber had to release
H.
that
Bomber
video.
got released the video, and he made me look bad, and then I got sad, and my mom died, by the way.
I was just about to put out that movie, but then H-Bomber guy came out of nowhere and released that video.
And he ruined my life. Not that I'm mad or anything.
Well, I still have the money, so I guess
I'll make a movie. He felt suddenly guilty after. Exactly. There's no evidence that he would have felt this way if he hadn't gotten exposed. Like, there's a clear link between, him feeling badly to whatever extent that he did and him being exposed.
Very small group. But when they find out your address, and some of them are actually in your city,
Wow.
they can be terrifying. And they did find my address.
Okay.
And at least a couple of them showed up while I was at the hospital. My neighbors did report them to the police, and I won't go into any more details than that. I'm not sure if I legally even can, but there's a reason I left Ontario within a week of getting the okay to do so from the doctors. So what's next then? Like I said, you'll notice that a few of my videos are live again on the channel. These ones don't come from plagiarized content, and for the most part are written entirely by Nick. Nick lost 3 years worth of work when everything on the channel was taken down, and that's simply not fair to Nick. He worked hard writing those videos and deserves to have something to point to when he's looking for new writing work. I've also done some heavy editing on other videos that did contain other people writing, breaking it down to only original content, again, so that Nick has an actual portfolio of work. As mentioned at the beginning of the video,
I'm sure that Nick wants your work as far away from his portfolio as humanly possible. I can't imagine Nick wanting his work for James Somerton to be anywhere on his portfolio. Like, please.
revenue from these will be going to the H. Bomber Guy team to be sent out to the writers I plagiarized from or donated to charity. However it works out in the end. These edited videos will be going back up on the channel in the next few days, I think, along with 2 completed video essays that we didn't actually get to release before everything happened. There's also some recent videos that didn't have any plagiarism that the sponsor asked to be taken down, and their ads removed, so they'll also be going back up without the sponsors, obviously. And soon I will be releasing a new video, written entirely by me, properly cited, with all sources credited. Maybe no one will watch it, but I hope you do. I want to prove that I have the ability to do this without abusing other people's work. It's a very different kind of video than I used to make, though. I'd say it's more of a documentary than a video essay. You won't find my opinions anywhere in there, just cited facts. I'd like to keep making videos like these new ones about people and events in gay history and definitive gay movies that you maybe never heard of, stuff like that. It's actually something that I planned on doing this year anyway. There would be 2 videos a month. Nick would write a video essay, and I would write one of these documentary-style videos that would fulfill the 2 videos per month sponsorship deal that we had at the time. I have no sponsors now, so probably not going to be 2 videos a month. It'll probably just be the one, which will give more time for research and citation
Right.
and crediting and making sure that there is no...
It will give me more time to steal from more obscure authors that are less likely to be discovered.
Okay.
information in the videos, which I know that misinformation made its way into our past videos. That was not something that we intended. In some cases, it was information that I was told by people that I considered experts. In other cases, it was information that we had researched. In other cases, it was things that Nick had learned in university.
Nick blame. Nick mentioned. Let's see. We're up to 8. Not quite. 2 more.
2 more. We still have 10 minutes. So.
Made its way. Yeah, as if the scripts wrote themselves. Like it's just there were just somehow this misinformation just like appeared on my scripts. Who knows?
I woke up someday and an article just popped up.
Sentences were just writing themselves into my scripts.
That's what happens to my scripts too, all the time, dude. What the hell are you
We weren't trying to lie about things, despite what a lot of people think. We were not trying to spread misinformation. That was not ever our intention. And that's nothing else that I want to apologize for. As for my Patreon, everyone can stop worrying about me relaunching it right in time for a billing cycle. That will not be happening. I don't want anyone who either doesn't know about the plagiarism or simply forgot to unsubscribe to get billed. So I'm going to start from 0. I have put together a new Patreon account. So if you want to support my documentaries about gay history, fantastic. Honestly, your faith in me after everything means the world.
I'm just curious. Did he posted this already? Because I'd love to see if anybody supported him now.
Probably. Got 3 posts.
1 like. I don't see a list of
4 paid members.
12 members. 4 paid. 4 of them paid. 4 paid members. Womp.
Alright. Whatever, man.
You could have just fled like a thief into the night. I don't get it. I'm telling you, he should have done exactly what Big Joel suggested. Right. He should have just said, guys, I wrote a song about what it's like to be a plagiarist, and then just sing Toxic Gossip Train verbatim, and then never post anything ever again. Everybody would have forgiven you.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Honestly, your faith in me after everything means the world to me. If not, I completely understand. Like I said, I've lost your trust. I'm going to work my ass off to earn it back, though. And I know for some of you, I'll never be able to do that, but I'm going to try anyway. There's a link in the description to the Patreon if you want to join it, where you'll be able to see the 2 yet-to-be-released videos right now, as well as, take part in other stuff that will be on there, like a book club, podcasts.
Can you imagine?
Voting on upcoming videos.
Podcasts? I mean, can you imagine listening to the James Somerton podcast? What do you even talk about? Like, what?
So today, I saw this article.
The usual. But this video is not about promoting myself. This video is about me apologizing.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
And I am
could have fooled me.
Incredibly sorry. It was never my intention for anyone to feel hurt.
I just did it accidentally.
Or excluded. It was never my intention to spread misinformation. And I'm really
did.
sorry that happened. And, as much as I tried to explain myself in this video, the memory issues, the ADHD, the personal things that were going on in my life with my mom getting sick and then dying and trying to make sure that my dad was okay following that and everything, those aren't excuses. There is no excuse for what I did. There are lots of people who make videos on YouTube. There are lots of people who make podcasts, TV shows, movies, documentaries, who have shit going on in their lives that's very stressful. And they don't plagiarize people's work. There is no excuse for what I did.
Correct.
For everything that happened, whether it be with my mom, or memory issues, there was something I could have done.
He's like, I'm not saying that these are excuses, but I will keep bringing this up. He's like, I'm not saying that it's my mom's fault, and my dad's fault, and Nick's fault, and the algorithm's fault, and my brain's fault. I'm just saying that it is my mom's fault, and my dad's fault, and Nick's fault, and the algorithm's fault, and my brain's fault. Now, I wouldn't say that it's all of those things that are the fault. I just want you to bear in mind that those things are bad, and I made my...
You spent 36 minutes talking about.
And just keep bringing them up again and again and again. Like, I'm not using this as an excuse. I'm just saying.
To mitigate that, there's nothing I could have done about my mom getting cancer. But knowing my patrons, as I did, in hindsight, I'm pretty damn sure that if I had said, guys, I need to step away for a couple of months to deal with this, I don't think a whole lot of people would have fled the Patreon. A part of me thought they would at the time because I catastrophized, but I really don't think that would have happened. Even in the very beginning, when I was like, oh, I gotta get as many videos out as possible, if I had said to those people who subscribed to the channel early on, you know, for the next video, I want to make sure that it's fully correct, and I want to make sure that, you know, it's as high quality as it can possibly be, I don't think anyone would have, you know, unsubscribed or not watched the next video because it didn't come out a couple of weeks after the algorithm decided that I was important for some reason. I convinced myself of these things, but I don't think, in hindsight looking at it, I don't think any of that would have happened. And so there is no excuse for the misinformation, and there is certainly no excuse for the plagiarism. I fucked up. Bad. I stole people's words and thoughts and opinions. They worked incredibly hard writing and publishing and finding someone to publish their thoughts and opinions and research. Hard research that they had done. And, you know, in some cases I put their names in the opening credits, which I thought was fine, but like I said, I've spoken to some of these people now.
He keeps bringing up, he's like, it's my fault. I really fucked up. And I'm not saying that they should have been happy that I managed to credit a few of them in the beginning. But I did, just FYI, if you were wondering.
And why that was not okay. Because putting someone's name in the opening credits, you know, okay, here's a list of people. Here's, you know, 7 or 8 people who are, even if it was, you know, everyone, even if it wasn't, you know, taking giant chunks of their work.
Also, did he ever apologize to the people that he attacked for previously calling him out on plagiarism?
No.
Because I don't think that came up. Like, did he apologize to that girl that he got death threats into over him, like, falsely claiming that she tried to kill him?
No.
At that time, even if it was just a sentence here or there. Putting their name in the opening credits doesn't tell anyone where their work is in the video. Nobody can say, oh, I really like that opinion, or wow, that's a really, you know, smart observation. I want to read more from this person. And then, you know, to find something you found interesting, you have to go play detective. And so, yes, just putting their name in the opening credits was wrong. I thought it was cool and, you know, cinematic, but it was wrong. Citations should have been done properly. There should never have been just chunks of text being put into videos. There were times, like with the Queer History of Hollywood videos that I released this past spring. They were based directly on The Celluloid Closet by Vito Russo, the book, not the documentary. I expanded on it quite a bit, but it was based directly on Vito's work, and I credited
You expanded on it with other people's stolen work, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
The thing, to the extent to which you expanded on it was just other copy pasted shit.
Also, you say, okay, I put their names at the beginning. What part is their writing?
Yeah, exactly. You just like, I put their names at the beginning, not like I cited specific things they said.
And in the opening credits. And I thought it was okay to just do that because the book was out of print and Vito had passed away, unfortunately, from HIV complications due to HIV and AIDS. And I looked at it more as extending his legacy, making sure that people knew about the work that he did. But I don't think I ever mentioned his name in those videos.
I looked at it as extending his legacy, but come to think of it, I think I forgot to say his name. Huh. Interesting. Like, I saw myself as continuing his legacy by stealing his work and not crediting him. Like, what?
He was credited, like I said, his name's in the opening credits, but I don't think I ever verbally mentioned his name. Someone who I have so much respect for.
Yeah, okay.
He's kind of an idol of mine.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I never mentioned his name. It wasn't because I didn't respect him or anything like that. And it also wasn't because I wanted people to think that this was all me.
Yes, you did.
If that was the case, I wouldn't have put his name in the credits. I never wanted people to think that this was all me. So that's actually one of the videos I want to make. I want to make a documentary style video talking about Vito Russo and his life and everything that he accomplished. Because he didn't just write The Celluloid Closet, he did a lot more than that. He's someone that people should know about. Obviously, people can research him. There's books about him. But I know, it's easier to sit down and watch a 20 or 30 minute YouTube video than it is to read a book. I'd like to make a video about Vito Russo, properly cited and not just, copy pasted from a book. I want to do the work. I want to prove, not just to you, but to myself, that I can do the work. And that's why I've started making these documentaries, working on these. I can't really put into words how sorry I am. I tried writing like a blog entry to say that I was sorry for about 2 months now. And I just can't get across how sorry I am. And I know actions speak way louder than words. And I hope with my actions that I can show you that I am sorry. I'm sorry to everyone I plagiarized. I'm sorry to everyone I've hurt. I'm sorry to people who feel lied to. I'm sorry to people who...
Sorry to people who feel lied to. Not the ones who were lied to. The ones who feel lied to. Because I don't want to admit that I did anything wrong. So, sorry you feel that way.
I feel like I abused the queer community. It was never my intention. Again, I'm sorry to Jesse. There were actually several other YouTubers who were very nice to me. But I feel like with everything that went down, Jesse is the one that I should apologize to the most. I'm sorry for the people who felt scammed, who thought that Telos was a grift. It was not. It is not. I am very sorry. And I hope, given time and my actions...
Think about how agonizingly long these pauses are without the speed up.
Were very nice to me. But I feel like with everything that went down, Jesse is the one that I should apologize to the most. I'm sorry for the people who felt scammed, who thought that Telos was a grift. It was not. It is not. I am very sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And I hope, given time...
1, 2, 3, 4.
And
1,
my actions proving it.
2.
That
3.
you can believe me.
You already got past the 10-minute mark. You don't have to stretch it out. You do. You go.
Boo! 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 Woo! That shit sucked. Oh, he disabled dislikes.
Disabled by owner?
Wow. I didn't know you could do that. You disabled likes and dislikes. Let's see what the comments are. Did I mention my mom has cancer? This is like a corrupted future guy version of the guy from... James, in the off chance that you see this, and the more off chance that you actually read out of the scores, the comments dunking on you, please just move on with your life. It doesn't matter what the reasons or what happened in your life. You will never be able to move past this as a content creator, but you can move it on as a human being.
Yep, sure.
No, James, I'm not buying it. You're just lying and not letting comments through. Your mother's policy was cancer due to... Oh! Somebody has the tea.
What?
Your mother's policy was canceled due to a doctor putting depression in her ailments list that wasn't stated upon signing by her. That was the reason you gave for it being canceled originally. Ooh! He got caught in a fib. The move to Toronto wasn't because of Nick, it was but because all of the actors were being here. If these aren't the reasons, then why did you state that they were during live streams? Why has your story changed yet again? Oh, this person has receipts! Oh, shit! I've been a fan of yours since the start. I've watched every video, nearly every stream, and had you answer me a couple times during. I know what was stated, and I'm mad as hell to catch you lying and hiding my comments on top of everything else. Oh, shit! If you hated writing so much, why did you make video essays? Why are my comments not showing up? What filters do you have in place? Oh, Todd in the Shadows left a comment that was deleted. Oh, Todd in the Shadows apparently said, a question about your claim that the misinformation was simply stuff you had heard or improperly fact-checked. You recite most of Richard Plant's The Pink Triangle in your video of the same name, yet you say the SS was becoming dominated by gay men, while Plant claims the opposite. Do you remember your source for that? Similarly, in your history of gay adult film video, you passed off nearly the entirety of a Philadelphia magazine article about porn star Joey Stefano as your own words, but you added parts that contradict it. That he was seeking a mainstream acting career, that his overdose was intentional. Do you remember where you heard that and why you felt the need to include it? Additionally, I've noticed you have unprivated your video about the Marvel comic characters Wiccan and Hulking. You have entire sections in there about how the writer Alan Heinberg, later Brian Michael Bendis, were not allowed to write gay characters, which contradict all known statements about the topic by Heinberg, Bendis, and other sources from Marvel Comics. Do you stand by those selections, or do you intend to leave them in the video? I will keep sending this, James. Adding a backup of Folding Ideas comments on the original apology. When you said your channel was teetering on the edge of extinction, and then replaced your Ursa Mini Pro G2 with the FX6 a week later, was that a lie about your financial situation, or just a profoundly reckless use of money that your patrons believed was intended to keep you from being homeless? Woo! Gagged! Those were comments from Folding Ideas and Todd in the Shadows that he deleted.
Yeah, he has a filter on this thing. Oh, Jesus God. Why are you trying to come back?
Your career's over and it's only going to hurt you more if you stay. He can't even make a video title without stealing it from somebody else. Why did you delete Todd in the Shadows comment? You said that your mother's life insurance was denied because she forgot to mention a prior diagnosis of depression. Which is it? Prior diagnosis or a history of diabetes? Those are two very different things. So multiple people remember him saying that.
Dude, you have a title from H. Bomber called Your Measure Response. What the...
You're still not owning up to what you did. You're still making excuses. Damn. Nobody is buying this shit. Colleen Ballinger had more defenders in her comment section.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
you best
true.
go and run back where you come from.
God.
Oh, 62,000 views, 3,200 comments, and none of them seem particularly good.
Nope. Was it sort of what does the top comment say? Oh my God. He's re-uploading. Yep.
I'm not giving him another view. Thank you for the follow. Let's see. Top comments. Using a childhood head injury as an excuse for plagiarizing your whole career is insane. Get therapy, stay off YouTube. I'm not going to bother laying out more vitriol on you, but I don't think the space you built for yourself is salvageable. James, if you forgot your scripts are plagiarized, then why did you get defensive and pretend you were the target of homophobic harassment anytime somebody called attention to it? Saying you stole someone else's word because you wanted to represent them as the most abusive and narcissistic apology I've heard in a while. You're looking at a meltdown of a true narcissist in every sense of the world. I mean this with every amount of sympathy I can muster. Your career as a content creator is over. No one is going to seriously consider any content you make from here on out. I suggest starting by releasing a full list of every source you plagiarized from if you were going to start getting any goodwill back. Maybe do some freelancing, editing behind the scenes work for other creators. Nothing under your name is going to succeed as a result of your own actions. I don't wish you ill, but I also think the best thing you could possibly do for all parties involved is to fade into the background. Bro plagiarized. No, of course he didn't address the misogyny. The only thing he addressed was the ace phobia, and only then to say it was actually Nick's fault because he was ace, and I thought that he represented all ace people. My bad. Oh.
Yeah, I do wish YouTube had a dislike button.
See, I have the extension that makes it visible. He literally disabled dislikes.
Oh
Like, he went out of his way to disable the dislikes.
Jesus. He monetized the apology.
Yep, he monetized the apology. And he claimed that he's going to give the money, to good causes. But what evidence are we going to have of that? Is he going to show proof that he's going to do that? It's easy to say that. You can say all kinds of things.
He said that in his last apology.
Yeah, did anything happen with that? Like,
I'm going to give the money to H. Bomber guy. Where is that proof you said in the last apology?
I just, come on. Wow, what a disaster. Well, that was the new James Somerton apology. I'm so sorry to have gotten all aboard the toxic gossip train with y'all again, but hey, our last James Somerton video got some of the most views on our channel, so hopefully with this one we'll be able to push above the mark needed to monetize our own videos. So thanks, James, for being such a fucking train wreck. Whew. And with that, I think we're gonna call it an evening. Thank y'all so much for joining us, and see you next time.